Alright, what's up guys? So I'm finally coming back with an M3 video for you guys. Many of y'all have been sliding in my DMs on Instagram requesting where are the M3 videos, So I'm finally getting an M3 video, and the topic of today's video is going to be living with a straight pipe M3. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the points of my likes and dislikes of the straight pipe exhaust, and maybe it'll help you decide whether you want to do it to yours or not. So the first thing we're going to start with is going to be the cold start. I haven't started it all day today. It's not too cold outside, but it hasn't been started in like the last 24 hours. So Zach's going to get behind the car, and I'm going to hopefully be able to show you how loud it is on cold start, but I don't know if my microphone will pick this up, so we'll find out. I'll start it right now. Okay, so now that the car has kind of gone through its warm-up cold start cycle, this is the regular idle. So I just want to give you guys an idea of it because it's still loud under idle, but not nearly as loud as the cold start. And obviously the car is tuned, so you can actually tune out the cold start if you wanted to. I left it because I think it's fun. It's not my daily driver, so I don't mind it. But if it's your daily and you're really worried about the cold start being too loud, then you can go through the BootMod app or the BootMod website on the computer, and you can tune out your cold start, so it just starts like without a cold start cycle. So now we're gonna get in the car and try to do some drive-bys and some inside of the cabin audio, so you can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like inside and outside and under acceleration and stuff. So we're gonna get out of the driveway and head to the street. Alright, so right now we're just cruising in the car. We're going about 20 miles an hour at like 1,000 RPM. And so we're gonna take note of a few things before we go through with actual audio clips under acceleration and everything, because you won't be able to hear me over the exhaust. But I just wanted to say that one thing that you're gonna have to take in mind that sometimes people forget is when you're completely catless and non-resonated and no mufflers also, but mainly when you're completely catless, you smell the emissions a lot more. Like whenever you're in a stoplight, or if you're cold starting in a garage or something like that, it really smells, I don't think it smells bad, but it's definitely a potent smell. A lot of people don't care for the smell. So that's one thing to take in mind if you're planning on going catless or straight pipe or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely going to have a lot more of a smell to the rear end of the car. Even when you're on idle or acceleration all the time, you're just going to smell it. So unless you're on the highway and you're moving forward constantly, you smell that all the time. And it can sometimes honestly give you a headache if you're not circulating your air. So that's one thing to just take in mind. If you don't want that smell, or you've got little kids or something, you want to be safe with them, you don't want them to be smelling that toxic fumes, then probably don't go catless, or at least don't delete your primary cats. Secondary cats you could probably get away with and still won't smell as bad, but if you delete both your cats, you're definitely going to have some smell issues. So right now we're about to get onto Highway 6. I'm in comfort mode, and I'm just going to give you all a regular acceleration to 60. At 60 miles an hour, just below 2,000 RPM. And as you can see, when you're coasting, that drone goes away. You hear that drone more when you're kind of getting up to speed, or you're at an awkward speed like 45, 50. But once you're up to a highway speed, that drone for the most part goes away if you keep it in the right part of the power band or the RPMs. And so it's not terrible, but the drone is really probably one of the most aggressive drones I've felt for a 6-cylinder car, at least, whenever you're in the peak of its drone. And I don't know if you can pick it up on the audio of the phone, but all of the little speaker trims and stuff like that have little vibrations and rattles. Like you can feel the vibration in the floorboard of the car. Like your feet will tingle from the vibrations of the exhaust right underneath you. And I mean, I like it. It feels like I'm in a race car all the time. But once again, if you want to be more conservative with it and you want it to be like a luxurious vehicle, I guess, then you probably don't want to go this route of completely straight piping it. If it's just your second car or your track car, or you don't care about it being obnoxious, then by all means go for it. Like I said, I don't mind it. But anyways, I will mention that given how much vibrations and rattling is going on underneath the car, the interior really doesn't rattle as much as you would expect it to. So BMW, props to you guys for the quality of the interior and all the, you know, good components that y'all have used as far as materials goes. It doesn't vibrate too much, it doesn't rattle much at all, and it would probably be more obnoxious if the installation wasn't so good on the BMW interiors. I feel like if it was a cheaper quality, like regular sports car, then you'd probably have more interior cabin vibration and things would start to rattle loose and you would probably get really annoyed with it. So far I've had this exhaust on for the past probably 5,000 miles and I haven't rattled anything loose yet. So we'll see how it lasts up in the long term, but so far I haven't had any issues with vibrations or rattling. It's just been a little bit of kind of something you just got to take note of. Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a 40 pull, like nothing too aggressive, but I'm gonna give you a 40 pull and downshift a couple gears, probably to like second gear, and you guys can kind of judge for yourself how loud it is from the inside. Alright, this is second gear. So we're not going to say how fast we got up to, but that was a 40 pull. Okay, so now you guys kind of got a pull and you kind of have an idea of how loud it is before I give you the outside flyby clips. But another thing I was going to mention is how much attention you get whenever your car is straight piped. And sometimes the attention is good, sometimes it's not good. For example, if you're at a car show, it can be fun to have a loud car, or if you're at a track event or something like that where it's more socially acceptable to have a loud car, then it's cool, you know, like everyone's like, oh, what kind of exhaust you got, like how much power are you making? It's like a conversation starter, you know, amongst car guys. It's a cool thing. However, if you're daily driving it to school or work, then you're probably gonna get dirty looks from your coworkers and your peers. I know that happened to me multiple times. This is one of the reasons I don't daily drive it, because I don't want to provoke anybody. And then also, it doesn't help that my car is Yas Marina blue, which is probably one of the brightest colors you could get on this car. But I just like bright cars, bright colors. I don't like to keep it subtle like some people, but I like to just be obnoxious with my car. So it will get a lot of attention, which also means that you'll get a lot of attention from police and constables and sheriffs and whatever, you name it. It does get a lot of attention. So I, knock on carbon fiber, haven't been pulled over in this car yet. I don't know how. I mean, I really don't drive that fast, but like just with the fact having no front license plate and with the exhaust being as loud as it is, you would think that sometimes you would get pulled over, which I haven't yet, but I would imagine that it's a very likely possibility that you would get pulled over and you would easily get ticketed for either having an illegal exhaust because it's catless, or for just disturbing the peace, as some officers will say. Usually that's what they tell you, is like disturbing the peace or like exceeding the noise restraints. So I mean, yeah, technically it's probably not the most ideal exhaust for going through a neighborhood, since it's also not valved, so it's just loud all the time. But it stays kind of conservative. If you're below like 1500 RPM, you can get away with it. Just drive really slow in some neighborhoods. That's what I do. I don't like to piss off everybody. I like to keep it calm. If it's late at night, I try to be respectful of people in the neighborhoods and stuff. I don't ever go hard on it whenever I'm in a residential area or driving near police or something like that. Alright, so another complaint about the straight pipe is going through drive-thrus. You can't always hear the people very well, and they're gonna question what you're ordering. However, we decided to go to Chick-fil-A, and I forgot that Chick-fil-A has actual people outside instead of the microphone. So shout out to Chick-fil-A. Shout out to my girl at Chick-fil-A. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can hear it from the phone, but another thing that's awesome about the straight pipe is the turbo spool is just like insane. You'll be idling through a parking lot or just putting around a driveway or something, and you can just hear the turbo spooling up. So that's kind of something I'm not going to be able to show you on camera. You'll just have to take the word for it, but it does spool really nice with the intakes and the straight pipe paired together. So we're heading back to my place right now, and we're going to do some more like flyby clips after we talk about a few more things. Alright, so now we got the windows down, and I'm going to do a little pull below this underpass just so you can kind of hear what it sounds like under a bridge or in an enclosed environment. Alright, so I'm not sure how well that picks it up on the camera, but it's like 10 times louder when you're under a bridge or in a parking garage, which brings me to my next topic of driving in a parking garage. You will literally set off half of the alarms because with the turbos on this car, it makes it such a low frequency of exhaust note that whenever you're driving, it vibrates everything in the parking garage, and it'll literally set off like dozens of car alarms. So once again, like I said, if you're taking this to your school and you have a parking garage on campus, or your workplace has a parking garage, and you're setting off all of your coworkers' alarms, then people might not like you. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you work in a place that you're in parking garages quite frequently, then you probably should take precaution before straight piping, because you will definitely cause havoc in parking garages. And it's a lot of fun, but you just have to be cautious because the security of these like town centers and malls and stuff like that are so quick to want to kick you out when they hear your exhaust. So just try to be low key and not super obnoxious with it. But now I'm gonna show you guys some downshifts and give you a little preview of what the burble sounds like, because the burbles are way louder too. They sound almost like little gunshots when you're decelerating. So I think it sounds cool, but you can always tune that out if you don't like the burbles or the backfires. You can adjust all of that through the boot mod tune. Alright, so now we're going to downshift from 7th gear. We're 5th, 4th, 3rd. Y'all can hear the turbo spools. Alright, so now Zach is gonna take one for the team. He's gonna sacrifice his ears and he's gonna film me doing some flybys. So first I'm gonna do an accelerating flyby, and then I'm gonna get a decelerating one with the downshifts, and then maybe just one kind of accelerating towards the driver. So I'll show you guys what it sounds like, and you guys can let me know what you think.
This is not going to be fun.
Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully it was kind of knowledgeable to you if you're thinking about straight piping your M3. Honestly, I love it. Yes, I would do it again, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave me a like and a comment.
Oh.